Hi, this is Jay from Thinking Out Loud. We have John from Polestar. Can you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's John Erdman. I am the owner and founder of Polestar Cannabis here in Randolph, Vermont.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
you guys.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Do you want to start off with your questions? I know you have lots of questions.
What made you start Polestar?
What made me? Well, I've had a relationship, shall we say, with cannabis for a long time. Going back to high school years, like a lot of teenagers. Obviously, I'm 59 years old now, so it's a long time ago. So through the years, I've had sort of a social relationship, like a lot of people. Later in life, I've had some health issues, honestly, and that drove me or inspired me to look at different ways to consume cannabis, and so I started growing it and making my own tincture. That's probably going back now about 7 or 8 years. And because I've had a few cancers. I have a condition called Lynch syndrome, which is a predisposition to cancers. So anything and everything, I see a holistic doctor. I take dietary supplements, anything that might stand to help in the prevention. I'm pretty much up for giving it a shot, and cannabis sort of fell into that bucket. It had, it's got the psychoactive effects, which some people enjoy, some people don't. Depending on the time of day and timing, it's certainly something I do enjoy and have enjoyed. So it was, and I really fell in love with growing the plant. That was my neighbor. This was before rec legalization, but it was legal in that you could grow your 8 plants, and he was growing about 20. He was getting nervous. So he asked if he could put a couple in my garden. He was living across the street. Should I be looking up at that? Or it doesn't matter?
No,
okay.
You're perfectly fine.
All right. So he brought a couple of plants over and put them in my garden, and I was enamored with just growing the plant. It's a lot of fun. So I started growing it, and then I just looked into different methods for making tinctures, and it's really, really simple. Basically, you just have to dry cure the cannabis, and then you decarboxylate it. So I bought a little device. You put the flower in, decarb it, and then you basically, in that same device, you put MCT oil in there, put it on an infusion cycle. It's called an Ardent, is this device. Highly recommend it for anybody who wants just home use. And the Ardent has a little infused cycle. You hit that and boom, strain it, and you've got tincture, which sort of became a part of daily routine, kind of in the evenings. I also like Vermont IPAs. Huge fan of all the awesome IPAs you can find in this state. The two go very well together, I have found. And so that was the inspiration to get into the cannabis business. Early on, I was thinking, because I'd fallen in love with making tincture, growing the plant and making tincture, I was thinking much more along the lines of manufacturing and growing. And I had met some people who talked all about growing in living soils. I was pretty intrigued by that whole concept, did some research, actually registered the domain Vermont Living Soils at one point, because that was in my head.
Is that a website? Is that a website?
No, I never did anything with that, because I switched gears when in the whole process. I didn't know this was well before anything had been published about how to get a license, and so I was looking forward and assuming that I thought perhaps licenses would go to folks who already had a business of some sort. And because I was thinking tincture and edibles, I started looking at specialty food manufacturing businesses to buy, thinking that maybe you need to have a business to get into the business. I was determined, and that ultimately is what brought me to Randolph, because one of the businesses I looked at, which I guess I won't publicize, but was based near Randolph, and I am so thankful that that's how the stars aligned. I can't say it was because Randolph's been a great place too, and for 15 years before doing this, I've been in retail. I worked for a company called Bull New England. Some people know Spare Time. It's next to Colchester, or next to Costco in Colchester.
Where do you live now?
I live in Williston.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
So I have a little bit of a commute.
Yeah.
But
Do you work in the shop every day?
I'm there most days.
You are there most days. So.
Yep. I like
Do
to
you
have
guys roll the joints or?
No, great question. As of now, there are many retailers who are buying bulk flour and jarring it themselves, or packaging it, rolling it. We so far have not done that. We haven't really felt the need. There's just so many already pre-rolled, pre-packaged, great products out there. It does, some of the great cultivators out there, and there are so many, are only selling bulk.
I have to say, so I smoke. My boyfriend smokes. My kids smoke. They're all older, but they smoke.
I smoke.
Jay smokes.
Yeah.
But I have to say that the packaging is amazing. And the packaging on the 5-packs of pre-rolls, I am so impressed with how kid-proof they are.
Yeah.
I am, because some people that smoke have little kids or have 8, 9, 10-year-olds that are curious. The packaging is really, really amazing. So sometimes it can be curious. There's so many warnings on those back labels that says "Do not for kids, not for kids, not for kids."
Yeah.
But sometimes it's almost foolproof for adults to get into them. But I really, really appreciate that packaging, because I once had, I have 5 children, so I once had smaller kids. I'm new to kind of smoking. I've only smoked for the last 6 years. I was totally oblivious in high school about it. I was kind of a goody two shoe. I just didn't really, I didn't smoke, didn't drink, didn't, do any of that stuff. But I just noticed that when my boyfriend brought home the pre-rolls the other day, and I was like, this packaging is just amazing. Even the jars, the jars are just
there's
great.
There's a lot of people doing a really nice job in terms of branding, and it's becoming increasingly important. There's a lot more product on the market now than when we started. We opened in January of 2023. So just had our birthday in January.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they do a nice job, thankfully, of making sure that those products that kids should not be getting into.
With the pre-roll tubes, could you reuse them or?
There's no question, technically.
No, I'm meaning could you reuse them, and could customers bring them in and maybe
get a recycle program?
Many people do. We do recycle them.
Okay.
Get $1 off.
It would be. I mean, we don't recycle them as in making sure they get reused. We just make sure they end up in recycling. Because they're glass, right?
But there's no $1 off thing.
No incentives.
No. It would be great if there was some sort of a collection, but you'd need to collect them, wash them.
And it would have to be a manufacturer thing too. If they decided to do that, I would think it would be more a manufacturer thing saying, hey, yeah, if you take these back, we'll give you X amount of money and we'll do all the work or whatever.
Yeah, just
But,
like cans and bottles.
Yeah,
if there was some
exactly.
incentive.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's a new beginning for the whole entire community. I have a friend who has had been following for like the last year, and he is growing for businesses in Colchester and up there. A couple of the dispensaries that he's working for. He's waiting for his license to get his own setup, but now he's just selling to dispensaries up there.
Yeah.
The hydroponic system is incredible.
Well,
Using
yeah.
CO2, using the filtrated water, having the pumps go the certain way, having a self-feeding cycle and situation. And there's just so much that goes into not just the backyard putting a plant in the ground.
The technology absolutely is incredible, especially the indoor grows.
Yeah.
Indoor or sun grown, we typically call the outdoor. And either way, it's even the sun grown, the outdoor guys. I mean, they all have their secret sauce and do an amazing job. But the indoor, the technology, I mean, even the software, the feeding cycles, the lighting, it is phenomenal how high tech it has become. Whether it's hydroponic, even if it's soil, same, and everything is computerized and timed. And
here's a question. I know, like, with stores and bars, you can shut people off, like, for beer and stuff, but, like, if you see someone that come in completely stoned out of their mind, do you shut them off, or?
Yes, we do. And honestly, it's typically that they're inebriated, or that, they've had too much to drink. It's those are the incidents I can really think of where it was pretty obvious. It's for better or for worse. Obviously, cannabis is you can overconsume, and it doesn't feel good, and you'll probably go to sleep. But the results are not as potentially catastrophic, I think, as alcohol, and certainly somebody who has had way too much to drink. It's way more obvious typically than somebody who's smoked a little too much. So, but yeah, we are certainly on the lookout and on the alert. Because we don't want them to get in trouble or get hurt. So we will refuse. We will typically say, please come back later. And maybe someone we know. We have great loyal customers. We know a lot of faces. Sometimes people we know, and just come back. when you're sleep it off.
Yeah, sleep it off a little bit.
Yeah. So good question.
My mom is a frequent shopper of yours.
Is a what?
Frequent shopper.
Oh, well, God bless her. Thank you. We appreciate it. Really, I mean, the local.
Do you know Shannon?
I bet I would recognize her.
Sure. Yeah.
I bet I would recognize
her. He goes in at least once a week.
Well, we appreciate it.
Mom.
Yeah.
Mom, I'm sure I'd know her face.
Did you have to train everybody that was there, or did they come in with their own knowledge, or like how does that work?
Yeah, good question.
There's so many different THC products that are in there. They have to kind of be knowledgeable.
Yep.
Whatever.
So I'm extremely fortunate. Pretty much all my employees have been with me since the beginning, and I certainly hired people who were already growing for personal consumption, clearly knew a whole lot about the plant, And one of the really important things for me in particular, because I'm more, most the most popular way to consume is smoking, I think is fair to say. Flower is by far our number one seller, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. I am more of an edibles guy. I do smoke, and certainly like to try the products that we're selling. But the guys who I hired are big smokers, and they can absolutely educate our customers, which is vital. People expect that. People are looking for that. So I very intentionally hired people who I could tell really had that relationship and knowledge of the plant, and it's turned out to, it's just a win. It just makes sense for people who are going in there. I want my team to be able to make recommendations.
Yeah.
I love talking to the tinctures and the edibles, just because that's up my alley, and I feel like I have a good knowledge base.
It's always very nice when I have gone in there. Usually my partner goes in there and he does all the, he figures out what I like. I smoke indica. I don't smoke just sativa. Sativa kind of made me a little more paranoid, so
Yeah.
I would stay away from that. But in recent, I have some back issues that are finally starting to get on the up and up. But I was using, some OG stuff.
Yeah.
And I went in and I was talking, and like the next week, you guys got in the same product that I was talking about. And I was like, that's so nice that I didn't have to go to, because I was going to Rutland to buy the OG Kush.
What's OG?
It's just it's what
It's a
Snoop
strain.
Dogg used to smoke like back in the day. That's like what he preferred. Yeah, it's just a strain. It's just an older indica, and it what I liked about it was that it lasted longer for pain, which was
Good.
really nice. Instead of having to smoke every hour or every couple hours, this lasted like about 3.5, which was really nice.
Great. Who was the cultivator? Do you remember?
I don't even remember who the cultivator was.
I'd like to give him a shout out. But we have quite a few. We have so many now. There's really.
But the guys are really good. The guys and the girls that are there are really good about just educating you and not being like, hey, what do you want? And then sweeping you on your way. If you have questions, they're really able to answer. And I had gone in thinking that I wanted edibles because I'm not crazy about smoking, or wasn't crazy about smoking. Definitely, all of my older kids are bong kiddos. They're not joints or blunts or whatever.
I prefer joints.
Yeah, that's what I smoke too.
Whenever I'm on the S list and I want to get brownie points, and I'm out on the town, and I say, better stop at Polestar and get Mama.
Get Mama a joint.
Oh, that's nice. Get Mom a little present. That's great.
So
that's great.
Is all of the THC products, the flower and the tinctures and the edibles, are they all local to Randolph? Or are they further out, or are they?
No, they are not just Randolph. Okay. Obviously just Vermont.
Yeah. Okay.
But everywhere, all over Vermont.
Nice.
We work with a lot of. There's more cultivators than manufacturers, of course. Yeah. But then there's distributors, so it's fairly sophisticated. So we can get products from all over the state. So we're not limited. We certainly like to support the local, especially the cultivators, but there isn't, as we speak, a local manufacturer. We do have our Tier 2 manufacturing license, so it's something we're looking at getting into. We have the space over there, but so all over the state. They just, we just try to bring the products in that we think people are going to love.
Do you see yourself working at the farmer market or anything, or is that illegal? Or
as of right now, I don't plan to be at any farmers markets. It's the cultivators who would like to be able to go to the farmers markets,
What's
and
the
that's not legal
cultivation?
yet.
And people that grow.
Yeah, sorry, the cultivators. Yeah, the growers, cultivators.
Is there any legal restrictions against that?
For the cultivators have to sell through retailers right now.
Okay, so they couldn't sell
Right.
like a booth for themselves.
Yes, exactly.
That
Exactly.
makes sense.
And we're hoping, the retailers are hoping that we might, they're looking at potentially allowing event permits
That would be
of
nice.
some sort.
That would be nice for like weddings and stuff
Exactly.
like that. I mean,
Exactly. Exactly.
I know somebody that had a weed wedding.
A weed wedding?
Wow, no booze, just weed.
No booze,
Yep.
just weed, and everybody got to take home a joint.
Nice.
They had a cake that was made all of joints.
Really?
A real cake?
It's like a real cake that was made out, not like edible, but like, and then they had a bar of like THC products, CBD products, and all the stuff on there. Like they had a charcuterie board.
Beautiful. And they were samples. I mean, you could just grab whatever.
Like you could just grab whatever you wanted to, and it was a no kid wedding. It was done in Stowe, and it was very cool. I was like, that was nothing that I would have ever expected, but they're both weed heads, and that was their thing.
Do they drink, or they're just?
I think they drink
just
wine
sort of
every
curious.
once in a while, but I think it was more the novelty of just having something that was different.
Mm-hmm.
What do you? So you said you're more an edible person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't prefer edibles because I don't like the all body weird mind type thing that goes on.
Yeah.
But my son, who's autistic, he's 26, and he also has epilepsy. We've been able to use the CBD.
Yep.
And it really works with like his migraines or sometimes the pains that come along afterwards of having a seizure. You feel really fatigued and just have some really harsh body pains.
Yep.
So we use that with him. Just in the recent, probably last few months, he's attempted to smoke, but he doesn't have the capacity to kind of fully inhale and do it properly.
I don't know how to do a bong properly.
Well, Brendan just does the joints, but he just doesn't know how to inhale to make it effective enough. Like he's like,
just not getting
getting
the dose he needs.
But with the CBD, he said it really works for him after a seizure. He has
that's great. So is
full body seizures and.
Do they make weed dog treats?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean they're CBD.
Yeah. CBD,
so,
but not like weed.
Not THC. At least none.
Yeah, you don't want your dog to have cheese.
I think people would probably frown on that. But definitely CBD.
Dad gives his dog gummies every day.
Oh jeez. Are they CBD? They're THC? Oh my gosh. Well, I know some people that do a lot of weird things with animals with THC, so it's
if not, she's in pain.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, if they feel they're helping with if it's medicinal.
Right.
Hard to beat them up for that.
What did you have to get the town's permission to do this, to come in here?
I did.
And did you face a lot of backlash from that, or was it pretty much this is great, go ahead?
The latter. Okay. Yes, it was. If I'm being completely honest, I didn't know in the 11th hour of trying to get the state license through the CCB. They informed me that Randolph had formed a local control commission. I wasn't aware of that. Well, it's really as of right now, it's it's the same folks who are in the town. So I had to go to one of the monthly meetings, to explain what it was that
Right.
that I intended
they're not
to do.
for cannabis. Like they think that cannabis is not a good thing and that it may have detrimental effects. It may intrigue teenagers a little bit more. So there is a committee. I know. I don't know how.
Select board. That's what. Yeah, that's what. So it really was the select board.
Yeah.
Come up with a name, but so and so the state pointed out that there was, and so I reached out to Randolph, and it right now the select board and is sort of serving the dual purpose. So I came to a select board meeting on a Thursday evening, explained briefly what it was that people knew, I'd heard. And so there was really nobody showed up to try to shoot it down. That's honestly good. So the town sent a letter to the state saying we approve, but there was a little bit of who goes first for a little while. It was, the town said, well, have you got your state license? I said, well, they're waiting for you guys to okay it. So someone's got to go first. And so it all got resolved pretty quickly. And that was late December 2022. Wow. And after summer and fall, long weekends and so forth, fitting up the space and getting it ready.
So do you have a website for Polestar?
Yes.
And you can order on the website, right?
Yes.
And you can pick up and pay. Can you pay on the website as well?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
And if I'm being totally honest, I don't know if that's more technical than a legality thing. I don't know anybody who is taking payments right on their websites.
Yeah, that's probably something that can be done in the future. But
because
to make sure that who's doing it is
exactly. We have to confirm they're 21 or older.
Yeah.
So
identity.
There's no point in having them spend their money only to find out that they're not old enough to actually come pick up the product.
Exactly.
So
do you deliver?
No, delivery's not legal yet either. For recreational anyway. So not yet.
Do you want to give us your website? Do you know it by heart? Do you want to?
Oh, sure. It's sure. It's polestarbt.com.
That's so easy.
Yeah. Our full menu's up there. A little bit about us. And
did you have help in creating the website, or was it just somebody that just did the website?
We work with a company called Canna Planners, based in Burlington.
Nice.
And they did the website, which has been great. And we also they create the content and everything for a weekly email and text campaign that you can sign up for at the website.
Nice.
And we every Thursday we send out, you can get an email or text with new products. Any promotions, we try on Fridays. Oftentimes we'll have vendors come in and do a vendor day.
Oh, nice.
So they set up a table, bring some of their samples, get to talk and interact with the customers.
Nice. I had no idea that happened. Did you?
No.
Yeah,
that's
it's nice. This Friday.
Do would you have anything like that for our listeners or anything?
What's that? A setup of a day?
Yeah, like a code word or something they can.
A code word.
A code word to get what?
I don't know.
Yeah, I should have thought of that. That would have been fun. We could have done the podcast code word, but
code word, yeah.
Next time. No, next time. But this Friday, Moksha's coming in. They manufacture products, so. We like to try to get somebody in, keep it fresh. Fridays are a big day. Yes, payday. People are excited for the weekend.
Yep.
So it's been great. We got 420 coming up, so making plans for that.
What are some of your plans for that?
Well, we're going to do a collaboration with Pinnacle Valley Farm. Yeah, they of course are one of our primary suppliers.
Yeah.
We did actually just do a collaboration with them, and we launched a brand we call Randolph Roots,
Nice.
which is a nod to the awesome town of Randolph and
That's
the
awesome.
locals here. First product is a hash rosin, and it's all Jeremiah's.
What's the
Pinnacles.
rosin?
So rosin is, you know what trichomes are? The trichomes on the flower, the little glands that are actually have. Well, you've got the buds, but if you look at a bud, you've got the little crystals on it. Those are the trichomes, and those are the little glands. Those actually really have all of the active ingredients of the plant. Certainly the THC, a lot of the terpenes.
And a rosin is like what they call a dab. Is that?
It's a concentrate.
Like it's a concentrate that you smoke at a certain way, and it is just really concentrated THC.
Yeah, it is a high level of THC, so it doesn't take much.
Where do you get your carts from?
Well, all over Vermont. A lot of cultivators are taking their biomass, their flower, or trim, whatever, to manufacturers, having it extracted, making carts. Manufacturers are making carts. I worked with a manufacturer, a cultivator, and they also have manufacturing capacities. The primary cultivator called Clean Cannabis, great guys up in northern Vermont. And we collaborated, and I also have launched a brand I call Reprieve. It's a very skier inspired. I should have brought a box, but it's got a skier on the box, and I call it Reprieve because I find that cannabis also really can sort of heighten the enjoyment of outdoor activities, whether it be hiking, biking, skiing. That's always been another area that I've been passionate about. So I have this brand called Reprieve, and those are carts. Easy way to consume, but yeah, carts is a very popular product right now.
Yeah,
lots of different brands.
I enjoy it if I'm, because I can't do a joint independently.
Yeah.
Like mom have to light it and stuff.
Yeah.
And if I'm home alone for a night or something, and I want a puff, I can do my cart.
I prefer carts anyway, but I don't like the smoke, and I just I like the smell and
right.
it's a concentrated high. You can kind of control how much you have and what you want to use it for. That's the biggest thing I like about the carts, but
they're very convenient.
Yeah.
That got me
discreet, convenient.
Yeah.
Don't need a lighter.
Right.
That got me this weird pen one time. I didn't like it.
No.
No.
Was it the cart you didn't like or the pen?
It looked like a flat, long.
Oh, I know.
Maybe a disposable.
Yeah. I did not like that.
So disposables, you can't really control the amount that you're getting, and usually on the pens they have a scroll dial that you can control how much you're getting at one time. I think that's probably. I
was puffing that one time. Went into complete la la land.
I hope you were laying down. You didn't do anything.
I was sitting down.
Oh, okay.
Well, but for a minute I was watching TV and stuff, sitting on the floor watching TV, and I just spaced out.
Yeah.
What am I doing here? It feels like I just woke up in the morning.
Yeah, I found out that there's one of my medications that they gave me for my back pain that I cannot smoke and have that medication because it literally puts me to sleep. Like
Mm.
I am comatose for like a couple of hours, so I just very much space the two of them now, unless I want to take a nap.
Unless it's bedtime. Then it's magic.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming and talking
Sure.
with us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And, you know,
No,
we're
thank you
pretty
guys.
small on the totem pole, but we like to do things in around Randolph and people's issues that they have that come up. We actually had Kyle Gendron on a couple weeks ago, and
He was amazing.
He's amazing. His story is amazing. He is an addict in recovery. He's been sober probably almost 90 days now. And he started a group in an NA in Bethel called New Beginnings.
And he has a new podcast.
Oh, does he have a new podcast now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was pretty amazing and gave the flip side. You know, he smokes weed, but he doesn't do other harder substances, but he feels that smoking weed is a contributor to keeping him not doing other things. The podcast is on YouTube and it's on our page. You should go and just watch a couple times of it. But I think it's our highest rated podcast so far. But he was just down to earth, told us his story, and was all for marijuana, which was nice to hear. Because some people think sobriety means that you have to cut that out, that it's a drug and of sorts, and being sober
that it's just as
not,
addictive as others, and I mean that is great. That's a great testimony.
Yeah, it was a really great podcast. We had a great time with him. So so I'll take down your email so we can put it on our video so everybody can go and check out the website. And
great.
Thanks. Do you have any other questions, sir?
No.
No?
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody.